you guys are up 5 minutes to go, and I think you turned over on 3 of your next 4 possessions, and they pulled away. What changed in those last 5 minutes that had been working for you to that point?
I mean, all credit to them. They played hard. At the end of the game, she made more plays than us, and made more plays than we did. We just didn't move the ball well enough at the end of the game. So, man, we just gotta execute better.
Could you feel that that was a moment where the season seemed to maybe hinge on that? You guys are up, you're winning here, like a win would have put you firmly on the right side of the bubble. Did any of that factor into maybe getting tight in those moments?
No, we were just worried about winning today. We wasn't worried about the future or anything like that. We just worried about today. So we wanted to get this win, but they made more plays in the game, so just credit to them.
Defensively, just what were the things that they were doing to maybe take you guys out of your rhythm? I think in the second half, the half-court offense maybe bogged down. You guys weren't hitting as many shots perhaps in the second half. Just what were some of the things maybe that they were doing?
I mean, I feel like they was doing a little bit of stuff, but it was mostly on us. We just got to move the ball better. I mean, like I said, all credit to them. They're just a great team, a very all-around team. So, but I think it falls on us at the end.
Micah, you played deep in the NCAA tournament, you played deep in the conference tournaments. I guess now that the regular season is wrapped up and you guys are headed to Indy, having to win who knows how many games, I guess what is your mindset going into the conference tournament, knowing that you guys have to accomplish X amount, but you don't know exactly how much you might need to get in?
I mean, this is my favorite time of the year, honestly. Like, I play college basketball to play in March and April, so like I'm just excited that it's finally conference tournament and March Madness, really. So man, I'm just excited to be here.
You talk about them making more plays in the last couple of minutes. When so much in a game is on the line like that, why do you think that's the case? Like, this team has had moments where it's done well in those moments. Today it didn't. Why were they making more plays in the last couple of minutes?
I mean, they just hit shots. They just got stops when it was needed. I mean, at the end of the day, players make plays in March. So I mean, they just did what they could to make plays. We tried. We didn't make the plays that we needed to win, but I mean, I feel like next time we will.
And it seemed like it wasn't just like one thing wasn't going right. Like, the fouls started to pick up, shots weren't falling. Like, when one possession becomes 2 and then 3, and they're starting to cut back, like, what are you guys saying to each other? What did you feel in those moments where you're trying to stop that from happening?
I mean, I thought we was gonna win the whole time, honestly. So we were just talking in the huddle, stay the course. We gotta get a stop right here. We gotta get a bucket down here. So we just kept talking to each other, encouraging each other. So I mean, our huddles was tight. So obviously we didn't get it done, but I feel like we thought we was gonna win to the end.
Last one for Micah. Yeah, go ahead, Connor.
Not that this play necessarily influenced like the final score or anything, but the play where the ball rolled into like the front row there, did a fan touch it, or what did you see right in front of you there?
I thought a fan touched it, but I mean, we had an amazing rest this game, so he thought differently. So I mean, I trust what the rest said.
Thanks.
So, thank you guys.
Thanks, Micah.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Jake, what is your takeaway from this? How did you see those last 5 minutes where you're up 5 and then at 15-6 they close?
Yeah, I thought we had one defensive breakdown where we lacked communication and got confused, and Galloway hit a big 3. That was costly. Outside of that, our maybe lack of completing plays, I thought our mistakes were aggressive. We played aggressive. We got a little too deep in the paint there a couple times. And didn't trust maybe the kick out like we've done so well here these last couple games. But I thought our mistakes were aggressive, and aside from that one defensive possession, and gotta give him credit. I mean, Galloway's 2 threes were huge. They were huge. The 3 hit at the end of the clock. He misses that. Who knows? It's big time shot, and so I felt like as well as we've played offensively, and really thought we did some good things offensively for majority of this game. Down the stretch, we didn't quite have the movement that we've had that's helped us be really successful and made us really hard to guard. They were really physical on the perimeter with our guards to disrupt our rhythm, and this was specifically on our end. It was a very physical game. So we fought, we adjusted, we attacked the paint. Thought there were a couple times we deserved to get to the free throw lines, the way the game was going to be called, but we didn't. And, you know, ultimately, right, at the end, we just didn't quite trust that extra pass well enough.
Well, when you talk about not having maybe the movement that you wanted or that you had until that point in the game, do you think was that a fatigue thing? Was that the moment getting big? Like what do you attribute that to?
You know, it's been something, Adam, we've been fighting for all year, because it's not instinctual for a couple guys, and we've improved significantly. I mean, you guys have watched us a lot. We've improved significantly in that regard. I don't know. I didn't feel looking out there that we were any tired than we've been the last couple games at end of games. You know, I feel like our recovery and how we've managed the time in between games has been really good. So, you know, again, you got to give Indiana some credit defensively. I thought their physicality defensively was really good, and you know, ultimately, again, like we said, they stepped up, hit some big time shots. We just couldn't quite make enough plays offensively. You know, aside from that one defensive breakdown, I thought, you know, we were pretty connected there down the stretch defensively too.
What in particular do you feel that they did with Bruce and Junie? It felt like they were getting opportunities, but I think they ended up combined 2 of 12 on threes. Just what were they doing to maybe take them out of any type of a rhythm to get anything going?
Yeah, played really physical with them. You know, played really physical with them. You know, fought with physicality to prevent them from getting separation on ball screens, and then you know force them, you know, really into crowds in the paint. And again, you got to give them credit, because I thought their physicality on the ball was really impactful. And those two guys have been, you know, our highest usage playmakers. And you know, when they were with their physicality, we weren't able to get them in rotation as much, Steve, as we wanted to, and we needed to do a better job of fighting that with, you know, and we had some counters to things to help loosen us up a little bit. And I thought those guys, you know, without watching the film, it felt like majority of their threes were solid looks, you know, out of the 12. So, you know, but those two guys, they battled really hard all game.
Jake, so they got 5 different guys had at least 2 offensive rebounds. They had 14, and Valo really wasn't the biggest one on the offensive glass. When you reviewed the film and stuff in the next day or two, and you look at that, is that guys not getting man? Is that effort? Like, how does that happen across the board?
Yeah, it feels like, you know, we get caught ball watching at times, and again, you know, especially with some of our young guys, there's some habits that they've been fighting to break this year, and you know, this game requires, you know, extreme physicality, and you can oftentimes get away with a lot when the shot goes up. And then there were times where we actually did box out really well, and we didn't secure the ball. I mean, it felt like at least 2 or 3 times we didn't secure the ball when we had great rebounding position. But you know, we got some guys who are a little too lenient on our athleticism and rebounding, and not lenient enough on our physicality. It's something we work on rebounding every single day. And you know, there was a stretch there where we were doing much better, and our defense was better because of it. And you know, we've also gotten in trouble a couple times with guys, you know, shooting and then cleaning up their own miss. And that's, again, a technique we practice, you know, every single day. So I do think our guys, our effort is not the issue. I think our awareness at times, we get caught staring. And instead of going to create more space for us to rebound down the floor by going and initiating contact further out on the floor, we wait too much, you know, for guys to come hit us.
I know you say all the time, be your best late. So you guys got one made bucket in the last 9 minutes. When you practice that and you tell them be your best late, like how do you specifically teach that and prioritize that?
Yeah, great question. So we there's a couple different ways we'll do it. It's shooting game shots, you know, at the end of practice when you're fatigued. It's executing our end of game package, you know, most every single day. It's sometimes it's putting scenarios on the clock, right, and playing out a scenario to get practice. You know, do we foul? Do we don't foul? You know, what are we running? You know, we have no timeouts. We have a timeout. So we put, you know, 48 seconds on the clock, up 2, down 3, right? So we do a bunch of different scenarios as well. Sometimes it's reviewing, you know, specifically 5-on-0 press break and things like that. Sometimes it's against scout team and doing that as well. So, you know, that's when we talk about that, you know, and really, again, I want our guys to be aggressive. We play to win. We don't play safe. We play to win. And I thought we did that. I just felt like, you know, we didn't trust our ball movement enough in that segment. And you know, ultimately, you know, they just made a couple more shots than we did down the stretch.
Jake, when you were up 5 to go, I'm looking at my play-by-play here, and it was like Micah has a turnover, Devin misses free throws, Junie misses a three, Devin turns it over to Junie. Like, it wasn't just like one guy.
Yeah, it was a rough segment for us right there.
Yeah. So when that's happening, and it's like let's get the ball to Devin, have him drive, he turns it over, Junie misses. Like, what are you trying to coach your guys through in that moment to where someone's gonna make the play and stop a stretch like that?
Yeah, but we've been diversifying kind of who we go to right at the end of the game, and honestly, when those things happen, the focus is going to get a stop on the other end, right? Like, we got to move on quickly, and then, you know, we called some action to try to get us a little bit more movement, you know, to build in some of that movement we talked about, and you know, I got a great deal of trust in those guys, and you know, I'd like to say we're not going to be in this situation again, but chances are, the way this year's gone, we probably will. And you know, our execution has gotten better. We got the ball in the paint a couple times, and instead of, you know, playing with a little more poise and kicking it back out to put a team in a long closeout or to get an open shot, we just tried to force some things up, and those were a couple of our turnovers. So, you know, I think for us, it's been this has been a growing process for us, and we've had a lot of games like this. We've been a lot better, you know, and tonight we just didn't quite have enough of our ability to kind of make those plays that maybe they did down the stretch, and it, you know, ended up being the difference.
Not sure you addressed this perhaps after this game or immediately, but when you get back to Columbus and you start pointing toward going to Indianapolis, I assume your thought is to just go and play the best game you can possibly play on Wednesday and come back, and if you win, come back and try and do it again. You know, there'll be a lot of big picture talk outside your program about what you need to do, but what do you think you need to do, I guess, going forward?
Yeah, we got to win on Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know, and listen, this league deserves a lot of teams in the NCAA tournament. I mean, this is an absolute gauntlet of a league, and I think teams need to be rewarded for scheduling hard in the non-conference, which we did. And you know, this was, in my opinion, this was a game between two NCAA tournament teams. I mean, it was a high-level game that, you know, maybe there wasn't the shot making we've seen in the last game, which was between two high-level teams, but like, this was a high-level game, a tough, physical, you know, game, and our team deserves whatever that number is, you know, 10, 11 teams. Like, our team deserves double-digit teams our league, deserves double-digit teams in the NCAA tournament. I mean, and especially again, if you're hovering close to 500 in this league, you've got a lot of quality wins, and so yeah, we're focused on Wednesday. I know Wednesday is really important. Make no mistake about that. I understand that, but this, you know, based on, you know, and I'll take a deeper dive into Steve and maybe get you a better answer, because I've honestly really tried to focus on the task. I'm not trying to run from it, because I understand it's really, really important, and we need to get a win on Wednesday. So our focus, though, is to live in the moment. There's a championship to be won in the Big Ten tournament, and you know, we want to go out there, use this time now between now and Wednesday to get ready to play our best basketball. And our best basketball is being really tough and connected. Thought we did that, playing with joy. Thought we did that, but we just didn't quite trust each other offensively there in the second half, like we've been doing so well. So, but I think that team that we just played deserves to be in the NCAA tournament. I think we deserve to be in the NCAA tournament. Our league deserves a lot of teams in the NCAA tournament. Strength of schedule needs to matter, and so, but we got to control what we can control and go get ready for Wednesday.
Yeah, Coach, Bruce went down for a little bit, and kind of towards the end of the game, he was limping and wincing a bit. Do you know what happened there? And can you comment on that?
Seemed just like a tough, really hard foul. You know, I think it was like a ball in the air, guy ran into him, probably hit the ground pretty hard, but he said he was good to go. So I think that, if I remember, it was play he got fouled on is the one you're talking about, across from their bench, right? Yep. Yeah.
Good.
You're good. Go ahead.
Speaking of Bruce, he was 2 of 10 today, struggled a little bit. What did Indiana do to really challenge him when the ball is in his hands? And I guess, I'm sure you're confident in him going forward.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, how does it impact this team when Bruce struggles at the top?
Well, I think, you know, you've seen now, we've kind of had 4 guys emerge and offensively for us, and have been, really all 4 of them have been dynamic and had some big time games. It's made us really hard to guard. You know, today we didn't quite have enough of those guys have those level of games, but I thought their physicality on Bruce was impactful. You know, they mixed up their ball screen coverage at times and committed the big longer for most of the game. There were times still I thought he was able to get in the lane, and quite honestly, he deserves more free throws. Like I don't know why he doesn't get, you know, to the free throw line more and why he's allowed to be played with so much physicality against him. You know, I think he deserved today to get to the free throw line a couple times. It's not like a huge dramatic, but there were a couple times he deserved to get to the free throw line. And you know, the shooter needs to be protected in the paint, as is most every time. And I felt there were a couple times that, you know, he deserved to get to the line. But give him credit, they played it with a ton of physicality on him. And Bruce, we know, is a physical player. He's a physical player, so, you know, I don't want to take anything away from what Indiana did, and I also have huge, great, unbelievable confidence in Bruce Thornton, right, moving into to the Big Ten tournament. So he's done an unbelievable job for us all season long. His leadership has been great. He's hit big time shots for us. He'll respond well.
What do you think this team takes now going forward? I mean, like, where do you think you guys are mentally? I know the game just ended and there's a couple days, but like, this is a pretty tough loss that, you know, could have certainly gone the other way. Like,
yeah.
Where do you think you guys are coming out of this?
Yeah, I mean, we're disappointed in the result today. There's no question about it, and you know, we should be. And we've you know, when we've lost this year, I don't believe in, you know, I think we've talked to you guys about it, right? Like, we learn and we grow. We don't hide from it, right? We own it. There were some things we needed to do better today. Give Indiana credit, but there were some things we needed to do better today. We'll review that, you know, to help us learn and get ready to play our best in the Big Ten tournament. But we're disappointed in the result, frustrated we didn't get the result we wanted. This group has responded all season long. We'll be ready. We'll be ready for Wednesday, and I think we're going to respond, you know, like we have all season.
Coach, thank you.
All right.